So this is how I tend to make money. Laptops. I find with laptops, a lot of people don't like to mess with them because number one, they're small and they're very intricate, and there's a lot of things in there, screws and a whole bunch of stuff that people just, I guess they get scared of. That's the best way that I could put it. And I get it because as fragile as they can be, it's easy to break, all the screws and everything. But because of that, I find that a lot of customers reach out and they want to get their laptops repaired. And if you're able to offer them a reasonable price and get it done, you can make a couple of dollars doing this. So in this situation, customer reaches out and says, hey, my laptop is not working properly. Of course, we go through the questions. What exactly is it doing? And the issue that he keeps saying is that it's not charging. He has to wiggle the power connector. So he kind of did some diagnostics on his own, and he went ahead and bought a new charger, but he has two chargers, and he kind of figured that it was the plug. Fortunately for this laptop, it's not soldered into the motherboard, so hopefully it's easy to take apart. I haven't messed with one of these, or maybe I have, not sure. We'll find out when we get in there and we can fix it. So let's jump into it and see what it is. Now, first things first, verify the customer complaint. Before you dive into anything, whether it's a regular PC or just a laptop, verify their complaint. Number one, saves you time, and number two, can save the customer money. And saving them money is good, and they'll come back. They'll spend more money on you. So we're gonna take out the battery, and our plug is right over here. So I'm gonna try one of his connectors. Usually a sign that they use this thing a lot or while painting. Ooh, I just noticed this. The ground is missing on that, so it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Not sure if this is the OEM one. This one, he didn't provide that connector, so yeah. Another aftermarket one. I don't want to use this one because he bought it. Well, I guess we'll use this one. Let's do that. Not a good sign when they have some type of wonky adapter. Now, what I am going to do is verify, let's see, 19.5 volts, 3.34 amps, which that we have. The lines in the dot match up. So I feel a little more comfortable using this one. I actually got bit one time years ago because a customer bought one assuming it was bad. I didn't double check it, and well, I fried things. Now let's pop this over, plug this in. Which I see why they give you this adapter. Oh, I could say right now, that's very loosey-goosey. So let's see if this even turns on. Well, it does. All right. I don't like to put people's personal information out there, but let's kind of... Oh, okay. No information. Let's see if I wiggle it. I mean, it is really loose, but it only comes off if I unplug it, but it doesn't take much. So yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is see how it feels with this connector. If it feels nice and tight, then we'll swap it out. Yeah, this feels nice and tight, so this is definitely bad. We're going to swap this out, and hopefully these other ones should work. But I am going to recommend, if he doesn't have this plug over here, go ahead and use this one, as well the ground is broken. So let's flip it over. So looks like we need to take out all these screws. These are Phillips. Gotta love ones like this. Strip, so somebody has opened this in the past. Great. Now let's take one of these guitar picks. I think they're called spudgers. Let's see if I could pry anything up. And this is the part that I find that make people very nervous because, as you can see, you can't find the opening. And if you force it, you will break it. Ask me how I know. Almost there, but something's still holding it down. Yep, missed one right up there. That's why you pry nice and easy. Don't go crazy. Let's quadruple check. Alright, so after looking at this, I do remember I have worked on this. Keyboard has to come out. So, I remember this was a pain in the rear. Excuse my language. There we go. There's little tabs that hold it. And with this tool, you can kind of push it back in. It comes right out. Yep. This like that. And I worked on this years ago. Some people just, you know, love their stuff. I think on this one I did a screen replacement. Can't remember exactly what I did. I think it's those two screws, and this should slide out now. Maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we got one up here we gotta pull. Okay. Bingo. And yeah, this is our prize. So this one has 4 gigs of DDR3. Yeah, I remember I upgraded this drive to a solid state because old laptops are still pretty good if you put a solid state in them. Let's get this out for the monitor because our plug is right over here and it's buried beneath all this jazz. I think we could just get away with sliding this out. I already took out the screw in the back, and there's a clip right in here that holds it down. Now we could pop you out maybe. And right over here, just wiggle back and forth. Done. Now look at this connector. Yeah, it does move a lot. Mostly to verify proof of concept. Yeah, it slides in like no resistance. So that's probably the problem. I'm willing to bet on it. Now what I need to do is just verify that these are the same, which that they do. The colors match up. But you can tell this one's beefier because it's the original, and this is a cheap aftermarket. I mean, hey, it's what the customer provided, and that's exactly what I will put in. So now that we got this piece in, let's see how well this holds it in place. That is in nice and solid. So I'll definitely have to verify that it works and all that good stuff. So let's put this thing back together and finish this up. So now I always preach, take good care of your customers. And this customer right here is a very good one. They pay cash, which cash is king, and they give me a lot of work. So in this case, we're gonna clean all this dust off. Just gonna loosen up with the, the old paintbrush. But also, it's a cool time to kind of show upgradable CPU. Honestly, if I had one, I'd hook them up. I think this is like an i3 3rd gen, maybe a 2nd gen. But I'm noticing that this fan is, and I'll show you. There's a bunch of dust buildup right up in here and there. He hasn't had any other problems. And yes, spending more time cost me extra money, but this is a good customer. He's a really cool dude. And he's brought me a lot of computers and bought a bunch of computers for me over the years. So let's do it right. As you see, that thermal paste is dried up. This is all clogged up and dusty. And if we wanted to, we could take a flat, take the CPU out, put it to the latest and the greatest. Nope, not really, not even close. But, I mean, could put a nice 7 in there. Honestly, folks, this is where you can be a sleazy tech, and this is where if you do stuff like this, I mean, let's not take care of your customers. Because you see a potential problem that could occur in the future. You know, my laptop's overheating, it's ramping up, and you're in here. And like I said, this customer's been very good to me, and I also want my customers to return. So go ahead and get rid of a potential problem. Shoot, for all we know, it's a problem that he didn't even know, and when he turns it on and sees that it's not ramping up, you know, that's the stuff that they remember. So now that I think about it, I worked on this laptop about 3 years ago, and I did the same service. So this is 3 years of thermal paste and dust buildup. So it's due for service. Now this right over here, we'll just get in here, agitate this, break this all up. And I've seen like stuff like this, you know, and I get it, time is money, but I've known techs that, and they've even told me from their own mouth, that stuff like this, they leave it alone so the customer could come back in a couple of weeks later saying, oh, and you have this problem, and they could go ahead and charge them again. That's not cool, man. That's definitely not cool. I mean, this is going to take me, what, an extra 10-15 minutes? I'm going to get the duster, blow this off camera, and then we'll fire everything up. Alright, so everything's plugged in, put back together. Now let's test it, mostly to see if we got power. And do we? I hear noises. We got power. Speakers work. That's a good thing. I see the mouse. I'll have to plug in the keyboard and all that other stuff. So off camera, I'm going to go ahead, log into this, make sure everything works, stress test it. And just with laptops, I found you want to double check your work, because as little and small things are, things happen. Laptops are weird and funky like that, and that's why I think most people shy away from tinkering with them. So let me wrap this up, and we'll finish this video. So everything's put back together, and after testing everything, stress tests and all that good stuff, works. perfect. And I can't stress that enough. Before you put everything back together 100%, make sure you double check your work. You don't want this thing coming back and biting you in the butt. But for the most part, pretty simple repair. I mean, it does get nerve-wracking when you're bending and pulling on plastics, and yeah. And in this case, we found one that was broken, but fortunately it wasn't anything important. Verify the customer's complaint, and everything works good to go. So as far as a job like this, what would I charge for it? I'd probably charge like $40 for it, because it only took me like 20 minutes to do. So I mean, and this is a really good customer, plus the little quick upgrade I gave him, just kind of extra memory and clean the thermal paste, definitely will go a long way. And as far as the part, I think he paid like $10 for it on Amazon. So, you know, some may be asking, it's a junk laptop, might it be worth it? But for some folks, they just need something simple. This works good for them. This checks the box. So laptops can make you money as long as you're brave enough and willing to do it and take the gamble. I know, like I said, some people just hate dealing with that small stuff, and it can be tedious, but hey, it works. That's how I make some money. I actually got 4 more laptop jobs lined up, and I mean, if I look at what I charge for them, mostly $40 to $60 for 20 minutes each worth of work, just doing small stuff like that, it is worth it. Now, you can lose money if it is a bigger job, so kind of keep that in mind, but especially with these old laptops, really easy to work on compared to a lot of these newer ones. And also, I mean, the common thing I get is upgrades from going from a hard disk drive to a solid state drive. It's like adding a turbo to it, and people love it. So comment down below, let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticisms. Do you mess with laptops, and do you think it's lucrative? If you like this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and as always, we'll see what we come up with next.